Good evening, viewers. Once again, I am back and you are watching Edutalk, especially at the behest of Harbourpress International. I am N.K. Sinha, once again back to you with a lot more of insights. We have been coming to you for a long time, and we are on this platform discussing a lot about how to prepare for the examinations of CBSE, especially class 10, for the ensuing academic session 2020-21. And today, once again, we are here to discuss a lot more of nuances of sciences which have been playing a vital role in developing well-defined abilities in cognitive, affective, psychomotor domains in children. Science is a subject, dear viewers, that augments the spirit of inquiry, creativity, objectivity, and aesthetic sensibility. And this is what we are going to do today. We are going to help you to augment science in such a manner that you are going to develop the spirit of inquiry. You are going to become creative, and you need to develop your own objectivity in such a way that your aesthetic sensibility also is propelled in such a manner that you turn out to become successful in venturing into the examinations. But before we start something, it's imperative on my part to introduce to you three stalwarts from the world of education. The very first panelist on this platform today is Madam Sundari Sree Pisipati. Madam, welcome. Madam Pisipati is the HOD, and she has been rendering her services as PGT Chemistry and a coordinator of secondary and senior secondary at Delhi Public School, Kamptee Road, Nagpur in Maharashtra. Once again, I welcome Madam Sundari on this platform. The second panelist among us today is Madam Vibha Mendiratta. She is a trained graduate teacher in physics. Good evening, Madam.
Good evening.
And she is contributing a lot for the last 20 years, once again, in a beautiful school, Modern Vidya Niketan at Aravali Hills, Faridabad in Haryana. And third panelist with us today is Madam Sanyogita Sharma, who is the head of the department. Good evening, Sanyogita, Madam. She heads the Department of Science at Little Angels Senior Secondary School, Sonipat in Haryana. And you know me, that I have been trying to be a catalyst among all the panelists for all the subjects nowadays. So let us today try to understand why and how science is important, and in what manner should you all prepare yourself that you always venture into getting success in all through your life. Now, science is basically a process of observation, that is what you have been doing. And today also, if you observe the things properly and you listen to it carefully, dear children, I am pretty sure science is not going to be a burden. Well, before we begin, let me tell you that today we are going to discuss three dimensions. The first dimension would be related to the introduction of alternative academic calendar by CBSE. At the initial stage of COVID-19, CBSE came forth with AAC, Alternative Academic Calendar. And initially, it proposed the 4 weeks calendar in part 1. But recently, we have come across part 2, which speaks about another 8 weeks preparations. To a large extent, this program, AAC, is the preparatory support to the children throughout the country. Dear children, when we talk about 12 weeks as a whole, it means the preparation for 3 months. And right from the month of October, probably before you go for your pre-board examination, you have got only 3 months in your hands. So be prepared for that. The second dimension would be there discussing something about the portions which have been reduced in order to lessen the burden on your shoulder, dear children. Dear viewers, we would like to put across that these chapters which have been reduced are not supposed to be deleted from the syllabus. This is the second dimension that we are going to talk about, how and in what form these reduced chapters are likely to be utilized by the teachers throughout the country, and in what form these lessons are to be learned by the students throughout the country. And the third dimension, which is nevertheless very important because it is the rationalized syllabus which has come up in such a way that children have to prepare only those lessons in order to meet the requirements of the question papers coming up in the ensuing examination of 2020-21. So these three dimensions would be there today to discuss on this platform. So without wasting a time and drawing your attention, dear viewers, I am going straight away to Madam Sundari Sree Pisipati. Madam, I would like to know why and how this alternative academic calendar was needed in COVID-19 situation. What did CBSE do, and how does CBSE want this academic calendar to be utilized by the children throughout the country? Would you like to throw some light on that, Madam Sundari Sree Pisipati?
Yes, good evening, viewers. The objective of the alternative academic calendar has been to encourage the children to keep on learning. In spite of these difficult times, the whole objective has been to keep the learning going. And this has been a wonderful effort on part of the NCRT, the CBSE, along with the government to enhance the academic schedule and to keep the children keep on working. That's the most important objective. Now, with this purpose, in fact, in the month of March and April, they launched this, the alternative academic calendar with the 4 weeks. They tried to work it out in the months till June. We could work it out with those 4 weeks. And now they have come with the 8-week calendar. The whole objective is, again, include the chapters which could not be taken up in the regular curriculum because they have deleted some of those portions, but they wanted that the children kept on learning. So there have been lots of activities which I think have been prescribed in that. And so for that matter, I think the children can learn on their own. There are lots of videos which have been given, and they can even access to these on these portals like ePathshala. There have been YouTube videos. There are lots of quizzes where children can participate and help themselves in the self-learning process. So the purpose of this alternative academic calendar is to utilize the knowledge which is required through the available resources. Basically, being sitting at home, the children could utilize the knowledge which is required for the subjects through lots of activities. In fact, hands-on activities and experiential learning forms an important part of the present-day curriculum. So that has been the mode of operation this time, and that has been the objective, so that the learning kept on continuous and so that the children can be prepared for the coming board examination 2021.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Madam Sundari. I'm coming to Madam Vibha once again. See, Madam Vibha, we've seen that in this alternative academic calendar, we have got 3 columns devised. One is there, we talk about learning outcomes. The second is there, CBSE has deliberately made efforts in giving us the sources and the resources. And the third is there where that subject-wise weekly academic calendar to be guided by parents oblique teachers. What do you think parents' role is here when this alternative academic calendar is available on the website of CBSE and everybody is capable of, basically downloading it and going through that? As rightly mentioned by Madam Sundari, that those portions which have been basically reduced have been taken up as a course components to be, practiced through this activity, the activities which have been, given in this particular calendar. So how do you feel that this would be helpful to the children?
Yeah. A very good evening to all the viewers. as Sundari Sree ma'am rightly said, that this alternative academic calendar has been introduced by the CBSE and the Ministry of Human Resource Development Program to just cater to the needs of both students and teachers in this pandemic situation. So with the technological and social inputs, all the students of all the classes can be scientifically provided with the school education systematically with the help of a very simple instrument they talk about, and that is the mobile. Like if we talk about a group of students, the teachers has a varied group of students. So if at all it is not possible for her to, send the SMS or voice call to the student, there the parents' help is necessary. That is, the parents too can input they can help out their children, they can help out their students in getting the proper learning outcomes. This proper learning outcomes can be through project or the activity-based learning, whatever the activity the teacher has explained. Like if I talk about the physics portion only, a simple experiment that with the help of convex lens, we can burn a piece of paper or the sun rays can be made to focus. So this simple experiment, the parents can also help out their child and they can, help in the insight of the child learning cognitive abilities. Similarly, they can provide the opportunity for logical reasoning, some of the videos which have been put on the YouTube or through the NROER or the Swayam programs which have been launched by the CBSE.
Okay. So what you mean to say that things have been provided there and proper guidelines also are given to the
Yes, sir.
children and the parents in order to follow those things, one has to be a little specific about, right? And
Exactly.
and I'm pretty sure that these things must have helped the children and the parents to prepare the topics
Yes, sir.
which are required to be prepared
like
for
if
some other
I
purpose.
like
Yeah.
yeah like if I give an example, like suppose there are 15 or 20 students in a class, so the teacher can make a group of 15 students for day one and she can assign the work to them. Then for the next day she can talk on to the 5 students and get an idea about the work progress. Then day two she can talk to the other 5 students, and the day four she can talk to the remaining 5 students. She can get a feedback from their parents, from the students as well, what is the pace of the work that has been assigned to them. So it's see that together the efforts of parents as well as the teachers is required for the best learning outcome from the child.
Okay, that's wonderful. I think, dear viewers, you must have come to know that alternative academic calendar, which was given initially for 4 weeks, now has got an extended program of 12 weeks altogether. And these are going to help you in true sense when you are preparing for your board examinations, especially when those chapters which have been reduced are taken up in the right perspective. In this connection, there is a question probably in my mind, and of course, there would be a question in the minds of the children and the parents throughout the country. And I am going now straight away to Madam Sanyogita Sharma for this question. The question is whether they have to consult the NCERT books in terms of preparing themselves for the projects or something that has been incorporated in the form of activities in these weekly programs. How do you feel about it, Madam Sanjogita? NCRT
Uh,
books and their
yes.
importances. Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Now, yes, as Sir has just put a question, and it might be in everyone's mind that whether NCRT is important regarding this. Yes, NCRT should be referred because the basic concepts are referred there in the NCRT itself. But along with NCRT, as it is mentioned in the alternative academic calendar, there at length, the various resources they are given, they are mentioned there. So the various videos are there, the links are there. So for example, if a concept of suppose osmosis is discussed, the term osmosis is discussed in the this NCRT itself. And to understand NCRT, this now the concept of osmosis, there are various experiments in our daily life that can be done, that can be done by the students, and those guidelines are given in the alternative academic calendar. But the basic concept which they need to study, they really need to refer NCERT.
Right, ma'am. So, dear children, dear viewers, it's very important for all of you to go in between the lines of NCERT in all prospects because those are the baseline for your preparations. And I am pretty sure that when you have been into the classroom situations, you could have done it in the same fashion. Rather, your teachers must have emphasized upon all those chapters and all those course components which have been incorporated in the form of a syllabus of sciences. Now, when we talk about sciences, it is integrated into sense, and finally we come to know that it turns out to become different streams when the child passes out class 10 examination. I'll just throw a simple light on that, that the moment the child passes class 10, he or she tries to take up one stream, basically. And then physics, chemistry, biology as three different disciplines emerge. Now, when they emerge, the inclination towards one or the other subject becomes very, very important for the child, so far as decision regarding their career is concerned. And we are fortunate today on this platform to have a teacher from the Department of Chemistry, another from the Department of Physics, and the third from the Department of Biology. And a little more light would be there thrown today because biology has its own dimensions in the form of microbiology and many more. Well, bioinformatics and so on and so forth. So what I would like to suggest, dear children, that this is the right time for you all to involve yourself into alternative academic calendar and pep yourself up in such a way that your preparations do not become a burden on your head. Science is a fun, science is more a loving subject, and it helps us all to live a life which is quite sublime. Well, I'm pretty sure that all who are viewing us today, उन सबों को यह पता चल गया होगा कि CBSE ने हमारे लिए एक बहुत ही बेहतरीन सा मौका दिया है कि हम घर बैठे ही ऑल्टरनेटिव एकेडमिक कैलेंडर की मदद से अपने आप को अच्छी एक्टिविटीज में इन्वॉल्व करें और साइंटिफिक एक्टिविटीज के साथ जुड़कर अपने सब्जेक्ट को पुख्ता मजबूत करके आने वाले एग्जामिनेशंस में अपियर हों। एंड मुझे लगता है कि हम सभी इसकी ओर बढ़ रहे होंगे। यस व्यूअर्स, नाउ
Excuse
yes,
me,
madam,
sir.
you wanted to say. Yes,
Yes.
madam.
Sir,
Sanyogita
here,
would like to add on
yes,
something.
I want to add here, as you said, just quoted, that it is fun-filled and joyful. Yes, obviously, many things were there which couldn't be done in the classes due to a regular schedule and this is a right opportunity. Now the parents are also there with them, and teachers are also available 24/7 now. Because now on phone, on voice calls, they can contact us. So they can get the better guidelines and they can go ahead with the various practicals and various small activities which will enhance their skills. So this would add more. I think they will be more skillful now. The concepts will be more concrete.
So you mean to say that online classes are better than that of the real classroom situations? Virtual classes are, of course, adding beauty to the learning of the children. There's no doubt about it. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
True. Yes. Well, this is wonderful that, dear children, you all have to make this clear to your mind that when you are connected with your teachers 24/7, you are likely to learn more in the most convenient manner that you must not have basically imagined when you were attending your classes. Well, don't worry about the classes. Classes are going on very well in our own country, and probably we have learned to be more digitalized in today's scenario, right? So what other impact does it have in the situation at home? I would like Madam Sundari to throw some light on that. Yes.
So the first and most important, I think we are very happy, at least the children are safe in their homes. Pursuing, learning has not stopped. That's the best thing. Teachers are constantly in touch with the children, with this regular classroom teaching still going on, of course, through the digital mode. Children are able to access the subjects, but there are some children who are not able to reach out to the teachers or to the access to those learning materials. I think CBSE has come up with a wonderful source of podcasts. There are lots of activities which have been prescribed. And the best part is parents can equally be involved right now, at least for those who have an access to all the facilities, can make the best use of these times. I think they are safely staying in their homes with the best kind of facilities being provided. But we do miss that, the personal touch of interaction with students, which I think all the teachers are finding it difficult. But then they know the children are safe and they are preparing themselves for the next upcoming board examination. So make the best use of these times, children, with all the available resources which you have right now in your hand, and the best of the facilities being extended by your school teachers as well as your parents. That's it.
बिल्कुल सही कहा मैडम ने। आप बहुत क्लियरली इस चीज को समझ लो प्यारे बच्चों कि आप घर में रहकर बहुत सेफ हो और आपकी पढ़ाई कहीं से इंटरप्ट नहीं हो पा रही है, इस करके कि सारे टीचर्स पूरे भारतवर्ष में पुरजोर कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि वो आपके मस्तिष्क तक पहुंच सकें और अपने विषयों को बिल्कुल क्लैरिटी के साथ कॉन्सेप्चुअल फॉर्म में आप तक पहुंचा सकें, और इसमें काफ़ी सफलता भी मिली है। हमने कई पेरेंट्स के रिमार्क्स पढ़े हैं और सुना है कि उन्हें भी अपने विषयों को बच्चों के साथ जुड़कर रिवाइव करने का मौका मिल रहा है। हाउ डू यू फील अबाउट इट मैडम विभा? जब ये पेरेंट्स ऐसा बोलते हैं तो आप एज ए टीचर और एज ए पेरेंट क्या फील करते हैं?
सर बिल्कुल ठीक बात कह रहे हैं सर आप। Like if I talk about the virtual classroom teaching which is going on right these days, basically सर जैसे कई बच्चे जो दूर से आते थे उनका कम्यूटिंग टाइम बच गया, जो बच्चे ट्यूशन क्लासेस अटेंड करते थे उनका भी टाइम बच गया, और पेरेंट्स के साथ दे आर utilizing their best time in terms of gaining education, in terms of being with them, social understanding, social values जो मिस आउट हो रही थी वो पेरेंट्स भी साथ अपने बच्चे के साथ बैठ जाते हैं जब टीचर क्लास में वर्चुअल क्लासरूम ले रही होती है, in the sense that the parents can equally tell the children, yes, this is the concept, this is the topic that you need to lay stress on. So with the help of parents, the touch which as ma'am Sundari ma'am very rightly said, जो हमारे बच्चों के साथ पर्सनल टच है, आई टू आई कॉन्टैक्ट है, वो ज़रूर मिस आउट हो रहा है, बट एट द सेम टाइम आई थिंक आवर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इज बीइंग इक्वली शेयर्ड बाय द पेरेंट्स एट होम which are trying to maximize their input in their own kids. So with the help of parents' involvement, whatever the learning outcomes the CBSE has thought of, I think that would be 101% be rightly come throughout the children.
Right, so nice. That's wonderful, Madam Vibha. I'm pretty sure once again that children would be utilizing to the best of their capacity, and parents would always be not only involved but also enjoy this scenario. So this is a positive vibe amidst this scary situation of COVID-19 in today's scenario. Well, but this does not end up here. हमारे पास अभी जो second part की आई है ऑल्टरनेटिव एकेडमिक कैलेंडर, उसमें हमने देखा कि भाई वीक 5 से लेकर वीक 12 तक को चार्ट आउट किया गया है। तो बायोलॉजी के कुछ पोर्शंस होंगे। मैडम मैं आपसे संयोगिता मैडम आपसे जुड़ना चाहूंगा अब कि बायोलॉजी के जो पोर्शंस हैं उसको ये वीक 5 टू वीक 12 तक किस करके मेटलाइज किया गया है और कौन सारी एक्टिविटीज हैं जो आपको लगती हैं बहुत ही इफेक्टिव होंगी और बच्चों को वो करना चाहिए?
Yes, sir. If we talk about class 10 syllabus, there in bio they have taken up, the CBSE has taken up chapter R, environment. So in that chapter which has been taken up, various activities have been included, and right now as it was a lockdown period, so I think it is very convenient for the students and very easily they can understand that how the environment has been changed during this period. Whereas this lockdown has a great influence on this, has impacted the environment in a positive way also and in a negative way also. So they can very well understand this. Various case studies have been included, short videos are there, so they can go through them. For example, if I talk about then
Okay, what I feel that there is some problem in the internet connectivity, and once again I am back, dear viewers. जो हम बात कर रहे थे वो थी अल्टरनेटिव एकेडमिक कैलेंडर के उस फॉर्म का जिसमें बहुत ही सही कहा मैडम संयोगिता ने कि आप अभी के मौजूदा हालात को देखते हैं तो आपका एक आवर एनवायरनमेंट जैसा जो चैप्टर है वो ऑटोमेटिकली कनेक्ट हो जाता है। आपने एनवायरनमेंट के बदलते हुए स्वरूप को कोविड-19 की सिचुएशन में देखा है राइट सिंस द मंथ ऑफ मार्च ऑनवर्ड्स। 22 मार्च से 23 मार्च से लेकर अब तक हमने देखा इस कदर के टोटल सिनेरियो भारतवर्ष की बदल गई। नेचर खुद से अपने आप को रीबूट कर रही है और पॉल्यूशन एंड और अदर इश्यूज जो हमारे लाइफ को बहुत बुरी तरह से प्रभावित कर चुकी थी, वो सब कुछ बंद हो गया है। तो साइंस के माध्यम से जो कुछ समझ सकते हैं, जान सकते हैं, कोविड-19 ने वैसी अपॉर्चुनिटी भी हमारे समक्ष रखा है, एंड वी आर वेरी हैप्पी that we are getting those opportunities to know our own selves in a better way. चलिए एक broader aspect पर अब हम बात करते हैं, which is very important, this कि ये भी जो present syllabus है, जो डिजाइन किया गया है, उसमें 7 broad themes को incorporate किया गया है साइंस में. We term it food, materials, the world of living, how things work, moving things, people and ideas, natural phenomena and natural resources. ये एक ब्रॉडर व्यू है जिसमें साइंस के सिलेबस को इनकॉर्पोरेट किया गया है। लेकिन इसमें बहुत बड़ी चीज है, सीबीएसई ने ध्यान रखा है हमारे लिए, एक स्पेशल केयर किया गया है कि भाई आप अवॉइड करें टेम्पटेशन को, टू मैनी कॉन्सेप्ट्स को इनकॉर्पोरेट करके वहां पर हम वजन नहीं देना चाहते बच्चों को एट दिस स्टेज, बिकॉज दिस इज अ अर्ली स्टेज ऑफ लर्निंग रादर। क्लास 9 और 10 की जो सिचुएशन होती है वह सेकेंडरी की सिचुएशन होती है और उसमें बच्चे परिपक्वता में आते नहीं हैं। प्यारे बच्चों, आपको ये समझ में आना चाहिए कि आप अभी भी परिपक्व नहीं हुए हैं। यू हैव टू वेट फॉर सम मोर टाइम टू बिकम मैच्योर इन अंडरस्टैंडिंग साइंस इन द बेटर वे। लेकिन उसकी एक बेस बनाने की आवश्यकता जो है, एक ब्रॉडर एस्पेक्ट में हमारे सब्जेक्ट्स को डिफाइन कर दिया है इस सिलेबस में। और इतना ही नहीं है, इसमें यह ध्यान रखा गया है कि सारे बच्चे पूरे भारतवर्ष में इस कोर्स कंपोनेंट को समझते हुए कंफर्टेबली इसको लर्न करने की कोशिश करें इसी फ्रेमवर्क में। कोई ऐसा अटेम्प्ट नहीं किया गया है हमारे सिलेबस में जो बहुत ही कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव बनाया जाए, क्योंकि कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव सिलेबस बनाने के लिए हमें काफी इंतजार करना पड़ता है। वेल, अभी इस बारे में बातचीत हम और भी आगे करेंगे। अभी फिलहाल मैं आपको ये बता दूं कि हमारी जो एनुअल एग्जामिनेशन है वो पूरी सिलेबस पर बेस हुआ करती थी, लेकिन अभी चूंकि सिलेबस को रिड्यूस किया गया है, तो रिड्यूस्ड सिलेबस और उसके पोर्शंस पर थोड़ी चर्चा करते हुए हम आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं। तो हमारी एनुअल एग्जामिनेशन अभी भी 80 मार्क्स की तो होगी, लेकिन वो एंटायर सिलेबस को कवर अप नहीं करेगी। रिड्यूस्ड पोर्शंस को हम किसी और फॉर्म में इस्तेमाल करने जा रहे हैं, और इसके लिए मैं अभी आपके पास आना चाहता हूं मैडम सुंदरी एक बार फिर से, और आपसे ये पूछना चाहता हूं कि ये जो पोर्शंस रिड्यूस किए गए हैं और ऑल्टरनेट एकेडमिक कैलेंडर में इन्हें इनकॉर्पोरेट कर दिया गया है, तो इसके पीछे मकसद क्या है, पर्पस क्या है, व्हाट रियली सीबीएसई वांट्स? यस मैडम, सो व्हाट डज दिस सीबीएसई वांट? In what form do you think such reduced portions of the syllabus of science should be utilized with?
The whole objective of this reduced syllabus is to create a certain learning environment in these difficult times. So first and foremost is, I think there was a lot of, serious discussions, and there have been a lot of introspection done, how best we can help the students in this pandemic situation. So some of those topics which have been eliminated have been, in the case of class 9, it is the first chapter which has been eliminated, matter in our surroundings, but that has been taken up in this alternative academic calendar. Lots of activities, in fact, and I think children can constantly learn through these activities, the basic concepts of, evaporation, the concept of matter itself, solid, liquid, and gas, and in fact, all this terms which are required, like boiling point, melting point, everything has been incorporated through activities. So the purpose definitely has been that learning should not stop, even if it's not being assessed at the final examination, year-end examination. It can go through an ongoing process through activities. There can be an experiential learning, which of course has been taught by the CBSE itself, as well as with the government policies and NCRT working together. But for class 10, definitely, they have eliminated a common portion like corrosion, and they have reduced the portion related to carbon and compounds. So that definitely might be because it's being taken up in the higher classes, especially in the 11th and the 12th. Probably they have given the basic concepts of carbon and its compounds, and the major portion has been deleted for 2021 board examination. But as constantly they are emphasizing, learning should not stop. Teachers will definitely try to give the concepts in the class, but of course that will not be assessed for the 2021 board examination. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Sundari ma'am. Now see, how has this impacted physics? If I talk about a particular subject, Madam Vibha, you need to throw some light on that. Suppose a portion is reduced from, some of the chapters are reduced from the book of physics rather, or the course components of physics. How are those chapters going to impact? And in what form do you think those chapters should be taken up in terms of helping the children to prepare themselves for internal assessment?
Right, sir. Like if I talk about the class 10 syllabus, the first topic, that is the natural phenomena, which includes the chapter light. There we have the two basic phenomena of light, the reflection and the refraction. The board has included the whole topic. It has deleted the uses of spherical mirrors and lenses. Likewise, in the chapter, the second chapter, which is human eye and the colorful world, from there they have deleted the structure of eye and the defects of eye. So these two topics are very important if I talk about the students who would be opting for non-medical when they move out or when they pass out class 10th. So definitely these topics are definitely very much there when they are in class 12th. So what I feel is that since this revised syllabus, the deleted portion came a little bit later. So it might be that the schools have already covered these topics in their regular classroom teaching. So what can be done there is that the school can have the internal assessment based on these two topics itself. Like they can have asked the students make a poster, make a PPT regarding the topic that has been deleted by the CBSE. So that at any cost बच्चों का जो knowledge का gain करने का तरीका है वो lose नहीं होना चाहिए. Like if I talk about the defects of eye, the children are very eager, to understand that they are suffering from myopia. That is why उनका negative number है. Or their grandparents are suffering from hypermetropia or cataract. So these kind of questions, they act as a catalyst for the information and knowledge for the child who takes up non-medical in class 12th or 11th. So definitely the school can ask them to make PPT, or it can have a short test or very short answer questions by telling them very clearly that these topics will not be a part of their assessment in the board 2020-21.
So nice of you, Madam Vibha. I think बच्चे आपको ये क्लियर हो गया होगा. ये पोर्शंस जिन्हें रिड्यूस किया गया है, ये आपके फाइनल एग्जामिनेशंस के लिए कंसीडर नहीं किया जाएगा और इनसे कोई भी प्रश्न आपके प्रश्न पत्र में 2020-21 के एग्जाम्स में नहीं आएंगे. That means you are relaxed now, but then that doesn't mean that you should ignore these chapters. These chapters are very important for your life, dear children, especially to build up your foundation in order to take up science as your pursuit when you pass out +2 examinations. Well, this is one important aspect, but then somehow or the other, I believe that internal assessment is an integral part of CBSE assessment policy. And when we talk about internal assessment, they have been divided into different parts rather. The first part is the periodic assessment, and I'm pretty sure, dear viewers, dear teachers, all must be going on smoothly online. Periodic assessments have been over in the month of July, and I'm pretty sure for the next periodic assessment in the month of October or November, you also must be very much prepared for. Well, now this periodic assessment again has been devised into two different forms. For 5 marks, it is said that conducted by the school. The test will be conducted by the school. An average of the best 2. There will be 3 periodic tests conducted by the school, and the average of the best 2 will be taken up and with a weightage of 5 marks towards the final result. And similarly, for 5 marks, the diverse methods of assessment as per the need of the class dynamics and curriculum transactions, it will also be likely to be including the short test, the oral test, the quizzes, concept maps, maybe the objects and projects, posters, presentations, some of the inquiry-based scientific investigations, so on and so forth. This will also be having a weightage of 5 marks towards the final result. And when we talk about subject enrichment, here comes a catch wherein we would like to introduce Olap's rather. But before we come to that point, let me make it clear that subject enrichment in the form of practical or the laboratory work should be done. Now, being at a distance, well, I would once again like you people to throw a light on that. Being at a distance, how would you materialize this practical and the laboratory work? And for that, I would go to Madam Sanyogita once again. Well, Madam Sanyogita, can you throw some light on that during this pandemic when children are kept apart and away from school, the form of practical or laboratory work, how would it undergo? What would happen online?
Surely, sir. Practicals are very integral part in science. Science is basically based on this learning by doing. So, as we are away from school, and students are away from school, so they cannot work in the physically in the labs. So, there is a platform that is Olabs. That can be the students can register themselves there, and even the YouTube links are also available. YouTubes are also available of Olabs, and along with this Olabs and this YouTube links of Olap, simulation experiments are there. It's not only that you can just view an experiment being done there. For example, if a slide preparation is there, then during slide preparation, it's in the YouTube only, it's shown the person is just taking the things, picking the things, and the procedural procedure is there, and the student can view it. But on when we talk about hands-on, so students, they have got an opportunity, there's a simulation being there. So simulation, if you are registered there, then simulator can be used. You can just yourself adopt that procedure and perform the experiment. This is a very good part. And even in CBSE, this alternate academic calendar, there also various links are there where the experiments are being shown. So we can use both. We can go for YouTube links, which are in the alternative academic calendar, and also we can go for OLabs, where YouTube is also available, YouTube links are available. And secondly, you can go for simulation. So get yourself registered at OLabs. And especially in case of, if I talk about physics, and I think Vibha ma'am would be a better resource person, she can tell better regarding the experiment being done in physics. So I have already discussed about bio, how to prepare a slide. Yes, Vibha
Right.
ma'am can help.
So nice. Madam Vibha, you throw the light on this OLab physics, and then I would come to Sundari Madam for OLab chemistry also. Well, how
Yes.
this OLab
So
is going to
see,
function?
OLAB, yes, OLAB is an idea that has been just developed to say that the experiments can be performed through internet, which are more systematic and less expensive. This was, this idea was introduced by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. It has certain steps, like ma'am said, that students need to register. Like if I talk about the steps, the first step is they have a theory tab there, where this theory tab provides you an insight about the total experiment that has to be performed. Like the aim of the experiment, whatever the things you are required for the experiment, that is provided in that theory tab. Then you have the procedure tab, which gives a brief and complete description of the steps to be followed while performing a particular experiment through simulation techniques. Even there are certain kind of animations are there which would help the child to perform. Like if I talk about the experiment of Ohm's law, to verify Ohm's law and find out the resistance of the unknown wire which has been connected across. So with the help of that animation, like if you remember in the olden days, वो हम ब्लॉक्स वाली गेम खेलते थे, तो उसमें अगर आपके ब्लॉक पर्टिकुलर फिट नहीं हुए हैं तो फिर वो एरर दिखाता है. Isn't it? The game shows an error, or it tries to put an arrow कि आप इस तरफ जाइए, इस तरफ जाइए. So the same way that animations or the simulation technique helps the child to correct his circuit diagram. Corrected circuit diagram means because the proper connection of the wires, the proper connection of the ammeter, voltmeter is required. So this animation or the simulation technique can help the child to do the stepwise procedure of the experiment. Then you have another tab, which is the video tab, in which the video of the whole experiment is being shown as we had been performing physically in the lab. Then at the end is that there are certain, the child has, there are facilities also in which the child can go about the result of this experiment. So the simple procedure is that the child has to register. This OLAB is the experiments are open for the classes from 9th to 12th. So whatever the experiment, there is a list of experiments being provided. Whatever the topic that you feel that you have not understood concept wise, that is where the science has, its basic foundation is that if you are unable to understand a topic concept wise, you can do it experimentally and get a clear idea about it. So this is what a list of experiments is being there in the OLabs. So whatever topic that you have not understood, finding out the focal length, refraction through a glass prism, refraction through a rectangular glass slab, you just click on that, you register yourself, and you can perform that experiment, get a complete idea of the concept behind the process, behind that process or the whatever is being taken into account.
So nice of you, Madam Vibha. Dear children, you must enjoy this situation. But then one thing again comes and lurks into my mind as a question. We talk about physics, we talk about biology, and we talk about making it less and less expensive and more entertaining. It is also helping in the form of the broadcast to develop the concept of the child. But when we talk about chemistry, there is a acoustic of chemistry rather. You need to have a lab where you are more and more preventive measures rather, because you are using the corrosive reagents, you are mixing them up rather, and from the broadcast whatever is being shown, how far will it be possible for the children to be at home और वो वैसे corrosive reagent को इस्तेमाल करके वो प्रैक्टिकल कर पाएंगे. तो केमिस्ट्री एक चैलेंज रहेगा मेरी समझ से, बट सुंदरी मैडम इस पर ज्यादा अच्छा लाइट डाल सकती हैं कि इसे नॉन चैलेंजिंग कैसे बनाया जाए, even through broadcast when the children are allowed to do some practicals at home in chemistry. How do you think it is going to be viable? Yes, Madam Sundari.
Thank you, sir. I think the best part is children can learn about indicators, the natural indicators which are available. And that is the wonderful part of identifying different types of solutions. The red cabbage leaves, turmeric itself. These are the natural indicators which children can prepare at home and definitely use them for identifying various types of solutions, acidic, basic, or neutral solutions. So that is it, children. I think even pH, of course, has been eliminated. But then for those practicals, you can definitely try with these natural indicators and identify and at least detect the nature of those solutions which are provided to you. So you have ample types of solutions, grape juice, lemon juice, try out soap solution, you try water itself for that matter, and try to find out the nature of these substances and the color change which takes place by these natural indicators. At the same time, definitely pH can be taken up in OLAPs because there are some wonderful, stimulants, what you can say, and they can easily identify the color change over there by using that, and they can detect it. So that's one thing which even though it has been eliminated, can be done there to understand the concept which is required in the theory part. Apart from that, there are some experiments which they can easily go through the O labs itself, because as of now, they have to learn the chemical reactions, identify the nature of a metal with an acid or with a base. And definitely all this can be taken up through the O lab experiments, because right now we are missing the children in our school laboratories. As you said, chemistry requires a little bit of more patience, because in the lab you learn by doing at the same time you learn the right way of doing an experiment, because experiential learning comes only through observation, hands-on experimentation which is being done in the school labs. But I think it won't be far off to say like that probably will be joining or having the children back in the school campuses as expected within a month or so if whole thing improves. So looking forward for that, but definitely whatever is available, children, use those resources and do the best as much as you can.
Dear viewers, this is the benefit of watching us, because we have got Herculean experts sitting on this panel discussion to give you the remedy of everything. You are likely to become scientists at home when you can use the natural resources even to conduct the practicals in chemistry. And that's the most wonderful, rather, prospects and the aspects of learning science. Well, this is something so beautiful that we always can think of making things easy at home. The C part of the internal assessment is yet to be discussed today. And the C part is there, preparing a portfolio by the student. And this would include classwork and other sample of student work, and will carry a weightage of 5 marks towards the final results. But there is no classwork. Class has yet not started. Children have not come to the class to attend us. What kind of classworks and other works are being extended on this platform, this digital platform, to the children to help them prepare their portfolio? In this connection, I would like Sanyogita Madam to throw again some light how a child should prepare the portfolio to be awarded 5 marks, which is likely to be a weightage to carry towards the final results.
Thank you, sir. Portfolio is a very integral part of internal assessment, and it should not be overlooked. Regarding the portfolio, as sir mentioned, that we are not in school. So as you are not coming to school, so no classwork. And so what can be done as in the portfolio, how it can be assessed? Here children in class 10th, one chapter is there, that is management of natural resources. That chapter has been excluded from the main syllabus. It is not to be assessed in the annual examination, but it is to be assessed in the internal assessment. So that is meant for project. So preparing a project, project can be in a form of write up on any of the topics of that chapter. You can create a write up, but that write up should be your own. It should not be from anywhere you have copied down from the Google, or you are copying down from somewhere. No, it should be your own. So, and working on this, this topic is to be discussed at length in the classes. The teachers will discuss in the classes at length, and these are very general topics. There are very general topics in this. You are very close to these topics, and they're very essential also to your life. For example, it is water, then it is wildlife, forests, coal and petroleum. Our life is dependent on coal and petroleum. Now you will think, how is it coal and petroleum? Because the energy which we are using, the electrical energy which we are using, that is basically from this. The transportation is basically based on petroleum. So it means we are very closely associated. Our life is very much affected from these parameters. It is coal and petroleum. So it is water for all, water, and then dams built on water, rainwater harvesting. And then if we talk about forest and wildlife, now as our Honorable Prime Minister has already said that we are moving towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. So here if I talk about, so very local products की हम बात कर रहे हैं. We are to move towards the local products. And if I talk about local products, so we are moving towards local indigenous systems of water harvesting. So we can work upon these type of things. We can watch certain videos, and then we should create our own content. And that would be worth, and it will fetch you marks. And then obviously you are going to score good results. And if I talk about class 9th, in 9th also same is there. In 9th also one chapter is there, our natural resources. So on the same pattern we can work upon this. So this is going to be assessed in internal assessment as a portfolio.
So nice of you, Madam Yogita, Madam Sanyogita, for giving such a brilliant, synopsis of what the child has to do in order to prepare the portfolio. प्यारे दर्शकों को मैं ये बताना चाहूँगा, आज प्रधानमंत्री का जिक्र हुआ है, तो आज हमारे प्रधानमंत्री का जन्मदिन है, और हम सबों की ओर से प्रधानमंत्री को उनके जन्मदिन की हार्दिक बधाई। और साथ ही साथ यह भी मैं बताना चाहूँगा कि प्रधानमंत्री अपने कार्यकाल में ही मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट की शुरुआत कर दिया था उन्होंने, और वह सबसे पहली शुरुआत इस मिनिस्ट्री की फॉर्मेशन हमारे गुजरात स्टेट में हुई थी, और अब तो संपूर्ण भारत में है, जो क्लाइमेट चेंज की हम बात करते हैं। तो टू अ लार्ज एक्सटेंट सपोर्ट इज बीइंग एक्सटेंडेड टू साइंस टू मेक इट मोर एंड मोर कन्वीनियंट फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस। और लर्नर्स, आपको ये समझ में आना चाहिए कि जो आपको यूनिट 4 को असाइन किया गया है रीड आउट करने के लिए, उसमें अपनी आत्मनिर्भरता बढ़ाएं, क्योंकि आप आसपास के वातावरण से वहां से सीख सकते हैं सब कुछ। आपको इनकरेज किया जा रहा है कि आप एक ब्रीफ नोट तैयार करें, किस पर? यूनिट 4 पर, उस पोर्टफोलियो में। और यूनिट 4 कुछ है नहीं, नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज की बात है, बैलेंस इन नेचर की बात है। वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट आवर एनवायरनमेंट, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द फिजिकल रिसोर्सेज विच आर अवेलेबल अराउंड अस। हम एयर, वाटर, सॉइल की बात करते हैं, सब कुछ हमारे आसपास है, और इसके बारे में कुछ भी लिखना बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट भी है और साथ में साथ आसान भी है। तो आप आसानी से अपने पोर्टफोलियो को तैयार करें। इंटरनल असेसमेंट का एक बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट और इंटीग्रल पार्ट आपकी पोर्टफोलियो है, जिस पर 5 अंक, और मैं जहां तक आशा करता हूं कि भारतवर्ष के सभी साइंस के जो शिक्षक हैं वो अपने बच्चों को 5 में 5 देने से नहीं चूकते हैं, क्योंकि वो पोर्टफोलियो अपने आप में उनकी क्रिएटिविटी होती है, उनकी अपनी सोच होती है, उनका अपना कंसेप्चुअल इंटरप्रिटेशन होता है, और हम बच्चों के कंसेप्चुअल इंटरप्रिटेशन को हमेशा से इनकरेज करते आए हैं। बायो जियो केमिकल साइकिल्स इन नेचर पर जब हम बात करें, तो बायो जियो साइकिल्स हमारे लिए ऑक्सीजन है, हमारे लिए कार्बन है, हमारे लिए नाइट्रोजन है, हमारे लिए वाटर है। ये तमाम चीजों को हम इनकॉर्पोरेट करके कुछ भी उस पर तैयार करने की कोशिश करें तो बहुत सहजता से वो तैयार हो सकता है। प्यारे बच्चों, आप सभी आज इस प्लेटफॉर्म से जाने के बाद अपनी पोर्टफोलियो जल्दी से तैयार करें, ताकि आपके शिक्षक उन्हें ऑनलाइन देखकर आपको 5 में से 5 अंक देने के लिए मजबूर हो जाएं. Make it as beautiful as possible for today. Let us now proceed towards something different rather in science, because अब तक तो हमने 2 डायमेंशंस पर बात कर ली. एक तो कि ऑल्टरनेटिव एकेडमिक कैलेंडर, जिसकी शुरुआत कोविड-19 के इनिशियल स्टेज में हुई थी, और अब वह 12 सप्ताह यानी कि 3 महीनों के बहुत ही सुनियोजित कार्यक्रम के तहत आप तक पहुंचाया जा रहा है. अगर आप 3 मंथ्स कंटिन्यूअसली इस पर विचार करेंगे तो इवन अदरवाइज कई ऐसे कोर कॉन्सेप्ट हैं जिसकी क्लैरिटी आपको मिल जाएगी. इतने सारे रिसोर्सेज ऑल्टरनेटिव एकेडमिक कैलेंडर में डाल दी गई है. यस, इस पर कुछ लाइट फिर से मैडम संजोगिता डालना चाहती हैं. जी.
Very sorry to interrupt you, sir. While you were talking, I just want to mention here that students make it a point that this alternate academic calendar, as it is being talked by sir again and again, and we have been discussing about this, it is very important to study, because when the question paper will be set, make it a point that question paper it will be set by the CBSE in light of whatever the study material CBSE has provided through alternative calendar. अभी तक हम लोग ऑल्टरनेटिव कैलेंडर हमें नहीं मिलता था, तो हम लोग अपना वही एग्जाम्पलर, NCERT exemplar, NCERT book, we were revising from that material, and many extra books we were getting from the market, by the private publishers also. Those are sufficient. But children, as a scenario has changed and a lot has been talked already about this, so make it a point कि इस पर बहुत अच्छे से काम करना है. Go through all videos, try to go through all the resources, because when the question paper will be set, what I think is, as in the question paper already it has been mentioned, sir is going to talk about this and we'll talk about this, so you need to go through it. It is a very integral part. Don't skip it. In question paper, definitely you are going to get a reflection of this. Thank you very much, sir.
करेक्ट. आई एम प्रीटी श्योर दैट अभी बच्चों तक ये बात पहुंच रही है और वो बहुत ही उत्सुक होंगे ये जानने के लिए कि हमारा पैटर्न ऑफ क्वेश्चन क्या होगा, टाइपोलॉजी क्या होगी, क्वेश्चंस की एम्फेसिस क्या होगी, वेटेज क्या होगा. बिल्कुल 80 मार्क्स के क्वेश्चंस तो आएंगे ही आएंगे. बेटे, आपके रिवाइज सिलेबस में यू मस्ट कम टू नो दैट द चैप्टर्स रिमेन, which are chemical substances, nature and behavior, world of living, natural phenomena, effects of current, natural resources. I think ये चैप्टर्स तो अभी तीनों सब्जेक्ट को अगर हम मिलाकर देखें तो इन्हीं के ब्रॉड स्पेक्ट्रम में बाकी के डिटेलिंग्स की जा रही होंगी. तो इन तमाम पर एक वेटेज दिया गया है, मार्क्स का वेटेज दिया गया है. और मैं जहां तक समझता हूं कि थोड़े से 2020 की इक्वेशंस नहीं बनती है यहाँ पर, या 80 मार्क्स को देखें तो वेटेज कहीं ज़्यादा दिखता है, कहीं कम दिखता है. लेकिन तीनों विषय अपने आप में महत्वपूर्ण है और तीनों विषयों की तैयारियां हमें करनी पड़ेंगी. तो अब हम चलेंगे आगे फर्दर. अभी आप कहीं नहीं जाएंगे प्यारे दर्शक और प्यारे विद्यार्थी. आपको अभी सुनना है कि हम रिवाइज्ड सिलेबस में क्या लेकर आए हैं CBSE की ओर से. On behalf of CBSE, from this platform, we are going to discuss something about the revised syllabus, and this time we are going to emphasize upon subject one by one. So let us begin with physics, and what all components are there in physics and what all weightage has been given. That would be reflected by Madam Vibha from this platform today. Madam Vibha, the time is yours.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. As viewers and as children, you are aware of this COVID situation. The CBSE has reduced the syllabus, but the marks remain the same. That is 80 marks. So that means if I talk about the total assessment areas for the whole 80 marks paper, they have said that 46% of the paper would be based upon the understanding and knowledge part, which means that would be basically related to your rote memory. Like if I say define or state Ohm's law. So that simply relates to your rote memory कि आपका कितना as it is statement लिखनी होगी, as it is laws लिखनी होगी. The next 22% relates with the knowledge or the concept based. If I talk about physics, that would include your computational ability. Computational ability, again, it refers to the numerical problem solving ability. And the remaining 32% of the assessment area, that would include your analyze and creativity. Like if I talk about biology, that might include the diagram which is being involved there. In physics, it might include the distinguish between resistance, resistivity, or comparison between any of the things. If I talk about the physics syllabus of class 10th, The first topic that we have is the natural phenomena, which includes your chapter light and human eye and the colorful world. That carries a weightage of 12 marks. 1 to 12 marks मिलते हैं उस weightage उस दोनों topics को. The next is how things work. उसमें आपका आता है electricity and magnetic effects of electric current. The last chapter, that is the sources of energy, that has been deleted from the CBSE. और magnetic effects of current भी आपका सिर्फ it is only till Fleming's right hand thumb rule. That total topic, that is how things work, that carries a weightage of 14 marks. So what I would suggest is, instead of going about the marks, we should refer to the concept behind what we are learning. क्योंकि साइंस एक ऐसा सब्जेक्ट है जिसमें जनरली आई टेल टू माय स्टूडेंट्स एंड आई एम टेलिंग इट टू व्यूअर्स आल्सो, कई बार हमें सिर्फ मार्क्स के पीछे नहीं भागना चाहिए. हमें ये देखना चाहिए कि उसके विद द हेल्प ऑफ दैट कंसेप्ट और द थ्योरी दैट वी आर लर्निंग, आर वी एबल टू रिलेटेड को रिलेटेड विद व्हाट इज हैपनिंग अराउंड अस. अब जैसे आप इलेक्ट्रिसिटी में पढ़ते हो पावर ऑफ अ बल्ब, पावर ऑफ एसी, कि इतने बल्ब वॉट का बल्ब फ्यूज हो जाएगा, इतनी बैटरी लगनी चाहिए. So how are you able to incorporate into your daily life? That is what is, I think, the CBSE or the NCRT aims at. When he is putting up these topics in class 10th, तो वो चाहते हैं कि बच्चे इस चीज़ को broad perspective की help से सोचें. समझ रहे हैं, आप टीचर से पूछ रहे हैं concept, but try to incorporate into your daily life, because the more you observe the things around you, the more concept clarity you get about this subject. Because science is not only cramming, एंड बेसिकली फिजिक्स वो क्रैमिंग या रोड मेमोरी से कभी नहीं आता. जितना आप उस सब्जेक्ट में इनसाइट जाएंगे, कंसेप्ट क्लैरिटी करेंगे, उतने ही एक तो आपको मजा आएगा पढ़ने में, एंड यू विल नो यू विल बी एबल टू गेट गुड मार्क्स.
सो हम पीसीएम की ओर बढ़ते हैं, फिजिक्स के बाद हम केमिस्ट्री की ओर जाएंगे. लेकिन इसके पहले मैं आपको बता दूं, जैसा कि विभा मैडम ने बात किया है कोर कॉम्पिटेंसीज के बारे में, जिसकी एक वेटेज होती है हमारे प्रश्न पत्र में, डिमॉन्स्ट्रेट नॉलेज एंड अंडरस्टैंडिंग की बात करें अगर हम, तो इन्हें हम थोड़ा और इजी करना चाहेंगे, आपसे बात करना चाहेंगे व्हाट आर दोज सजेस्टिव वर्ब्स फॉर दीज कोर कॉम्पिटेंसीज. सजेस्टिव वर्ब्स आर देयर. डिमॉन्स्ट्रेट नॉलेज एंड अंडरस्टैंडिंग के बारे में बात करें तो बच्चों आपको स्टेट करनी है, नेम करना है, किसी भी फंक्शनल पॉइंट्स का लिस्ट करना है, किसी चीज का आइडेंटिफाई करनी है, आपको डेफिनेशन देनी है, आपको सजेस्ट करना है, कुछ हद तक आपको आउटलाइन करनी है, और साथ में डिस्क्राइब करनी है, समराइज करनी है. ऐसे जो वर्ब्स हैं इसको आप इनकॉर्पोरेट करके समझिए कि आपको नॉलेज और अंडरस्टैंडिंग को डेमोन्स्ट्रेट करना है. लेकिन ये बिल्कुल ऑब्जेक्टिविटी इसमें होगी. दूसरी बात हम करते हैं जब एप्लीकेशन ऑफ नॉलेज की या कॉन्सेप्ट्स की, तो आपको कैलकुलेट करना आना चाहिए, आपको इलस्ट्रेट करना आना चाहिए. यू नीड टू डेवलप योर हाउ टू शो योर ओन कॉन्सेप्ट क्लैरिटी, हाउ वुड यू adapt the things from sciences, how will it help you to explain the things in true manners, and how would you be able to distinguish between the two elements of sciences. So this is what we call application of knowledge and concepts. And the third core competency which has been given another weightage of 32% is there, analyze, evaluate and create. इसमें आपको interpretation आना चाहिए, आपको analysis आनी चाहिए. You should be able to compare two elements precisely. You need to develop the contrast between the two elements. में भी आपको एग्जामिन करनी आए, इवेलुएट करनी आए, आप डिस्कस कर सकते हैं, कंस्ट्रक्ट कर सकते हैं. ये तमाम चीजें जो आती हैं वो सजेस्टिव वर्ब्स हैं आपके कोर कॉम्पिटेंसीज की. आपको बहुत आसानी से इसे समझना है और इसी के बेस पर अपने प्रश्नों का उत्तर देना है. नाउ कमिंग टू chemistry, because you know PCM and PCB is a very common term in the whole country. The moment बात उठती है कि भाई आप प्लस टू में क्या लेने जा रहे हो, व्हाट इज योर कॉम्बिनेशन, तो चाइल्ड वुड कम फोर्थ विथ ओनली वन फ्रेज और एक्रोनिम रादर, वो बोलेंगे पीसीबी है हमारा. नाउ ई प्लस पीसीबी प्लस एनी फिफ्थ सब्जेक्ट इज द जनरल व्हाट यू कॉल स्ट्रीम दैट अ चाइल्ड ऑप्ट्स फॉर. तो फिजिक्स की बात हो गई. अब हम केमिस्ट्री के लिए मैडम सुंदरी के पास स्ट्रेट अवे जा रहे हैं. और मैडम सुंदरी कृपया आप लाइट डालें इस पर, केमिस्ट्री में क्या है और कैसी तैयारी बच्चों को करनी चाहिए. जी.
Actually, children, for class 9th, matter, nature and behavior, the first unit, in fact, has been given now 27 marks. In that, of course, the first chapter has been eliminated, but as I told you, even though it has not been put up in the revised syllabus, it has been incorporated for activities which can be taken up in your portfolio also, because you can write a report, perform the activity and write a report and incorporate that in your portfolio. So the marks now for unit 1 stands at 27 for this revised syllabus. For class 10th, of course, the unit 1, again, the chemistry part is chemical substances, nature and behavior, now carries about 27 marks, 26 marks. And there are some portions which have been eliminated. Now for class 9th, as I said, we said that the first unit is eliminated and not much of change in the other portion. There's not much of syllabus which has been reduced. So in class 9, mainly it's learning the concepts. It's more of conceptual part rather than the reactions. Of course, the mole concept is very, very important because in atoms and molecules, you're learning how to calculate the moles, number of moles, and this is very much required in class 11. Structure of atom, the foundation for class 11th, of course, is in class 9th. And you know the structure of our atom basics are taught in class 9th itself. So all this conceptual part, which is required in class 11, is very much done in class 9th itself. So that's very much required. And children, you need to be very attentive with the syllabus, which has been now given to you. And for class 10th, of course, as I said, we don't have much of a syllabus which has been reduced except for the metallurgical processes which are there in metals and non-metals. But then children, again, a lot of these have been taken up through activities. Now in that you can perform the activities, keep a report ready, and you must have analyzed through those activities. So it's experiential learning which can be taken up. But the broader concept of metallurgy, again, is coming in 12th standard. So they must have reduced it for this year. And carbon in compounds, as it has been taught to you, it is only up to the homologous series. So the major part of that chapter, carbon and compounds, has been reduced in this syllabus. But again, as I said, the teachers will be definitely giving you a basic idea regarding that. So prepare well, but remember, it's very important in chemistry, writing balanced chemical equations is mandatory. So the more you practice the chemical equations, learning the formula correctly, and writing the equations properly forms the crux of chemistry. So I think all the best. Keep practicing more often. And I think you should do well in that part of the subject too.
Thank you so much, Sundari ma'am, for throwing such a beautiful light once again on chemistry. And chemistry is always enlightened, I believe, because the entire body is a biochemistry. We talk about our own biological ingredients and talking about the chemical reactions going inside. It's very, very good note is there that in today's scenario, we do not find any practical going on inside our own body because we are not having any intake from outside which can bring hazard and harm to our health. And the purity is more of there seen at home, being at home. Well, coming to biology, and it's again an integral aspect of science, I would like Madam Sanyogita to throw some light on how to prepare, what are the weightages, and how children should really be guided for that purpose. Yes, Madam Sanyogita.
Sure, sir. Children, in class 10th, the first unit is of chemistry and second unit is of bio. It is word of living. And in this unit, previously there was one chapter, control and coordination, that has been deleted. And now only life processes and chapter reproduction. And also the one more chapter, heredity and evolution, is there. One more portion has been deleted from chapter heredity and evolution, and that is evolution part has been deleted. Otherwise, children, this is not new. Only evidences of evolution were there in this class 10th. Otherwise, evolution has been introduced in class 9th also when you studied that chapter diversity. So evolution, as we can talk about in this scenario, we are also evolving from the offline classes. Now we have evolved to online classes. So evolution goes on. So evolution, we will touch this topic because in case you want to opt PCB, you want to go for PCB. So evolution should be discussed there because it is the basic step of the life. So first chapter is life processes, second is reproduction topic, and third is heredity, where we'll talk about Mendel's laws, and the basic introduction of genetics will be there. Next is 5 marks unit is there, that is natural resources. I was already talking about that, our environment topic. So that is of 5 marks. In that, case study can come. Already I was discussing that, and I sorry for the glitch in the network, I couldn't complete it. So I would take the opportunity to complete it here. So case study can be there, data handling question can be there, process based can be there, paragraph based questions can be there. So be prepared for, as sir just mentioned, the competency, when we are talking about the competency based questions. So third area where we analyze, evaluate, create. So the question of 5 marks can come from this topic, our environment. Remaining, it will be basically, if I talk about word of living, it will be knowledge based and application based. So main thing in bio is children diagram making. It is a very integral part of biology. So here what I would like to suggest you, that on a chart or on or in in the notebook, just draw the diagram, label its all parts, and in front of that part mention all its valuable points, whether it is structure, it is its function. So it is mention it there. So when you prepare it, when you are preparing it yourself, it's your work, it's your creation. Obviously the things are more clear to you, they are more concrete, and when you look at a glance, just looking at it, just viewing at it while revisions, it will help you a lot, and you will not have to cram it. So one thing, skills of drawing the diagrams, and secondly, the questions also from diagrams, it comes like this: identify the part, identifying the parts, or it can come to complete it, or drawing the flow charts. In biology, this is a very, very important thing, that concept mapping should be, you should have a command on this, which will help you to just revise the things and get better marks. And if I talk about now class 11th, class 9th, in class 9th, one chapter has been deleted, that is diversity of living organisms. Now, in India also we talk about कि अनेकता में एकता, डाइवर्सिटी. तो ऐसे ही ऑर्गेनिजम्स में हम बात करते हैं. ऐसे अगर हम स्पिरिचुअल एंगल से वैसे बात करें तो हम कहते हैं 84 लाख योनियां हैं. व्हाट इज दैट 84 लाख योनियां? दैट इज बेसिकली द स्पीशीज. So we are having diverse species, variety of living forms, and all are interdependent on each other. So we need to study about that, and that is a very important chapter if you again go for PCB. So that chapter also, what I suggest is that should not be completely deleted by the schools. We should teach it and take it again as an integral part. We can take it as a in 5 marks question, oral questions can be asked, quizzes can be there. So we should not completely delete it, so that those students who are having a inclination toward PCB, at least they also get a matter to learn or matter to this. So they should go for this. So this was all about 9th and 10th class biology syllabus. So again, I will stress that stress on diagram making and concepts should be concrete there. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So nice of you. Very beautifully projected by Madam Sanyogita that we are evolving continuously. And the latest evolution is there that we have turned out to become actors on the screen. From a teacher, the journey has turned out to become the journey of an actor. And we are facing the camera and the screen along with you, dear children, dear viewers, and we are trying the best of our level to reach out to you and give you the best that we have with us. जो मैं बार बार इस चीज को एम्फेसिस में लेकर चल रहा हूँ, हमारे पैनल पर वो लोग जुड़ते हैं जिनके पास अनुभव का खजाना है. The teachers who are there today, or the teachers who are likely to be some other day on this panel for a discussion about subjects throughout the country, we will be having those people who are blessed with experiences of life and have been contributing positively in the making of lives throughout. So, अब हम आगे चलते हैं, थोड़ा टाइपोलॉजी की बात करेंगे. डियर व्यूअर्स, आप अभी कहीं जाएंगे नहीं. बच्चे, आप इसे ध्यान से सुने. आपकी टाइपोलॉजी ऑफ क्वेश्चंस में वेरी शॉर्ट आंसर टाइप क्वेश्चन होती है, जिसमें ऑब्जेक्टिविटी होती है. assertion टाइप क्वेश्चन आते हैं. लॉन्ग आंसर टाइप क्वेश्चन होते हैं जो सोर्स बेस्ड होता है, केस बेस्ड होता है, अभी अभी मैडम ने कहा पैसेज बेस्ड होता है, और इंटीग्रेटेड असेसमेंट क्वेश्चंस होते हैं. तो क्वेश्चंस की टाइपोलॉजी तो ऐसी होगी, लेकिन एक जो महत्वपूर्ण प्रश्न है और इसकी व्यवस्था है. There are provisions for internal choice and what is the approximate percentage that would be provided to the children, where all questions are there, which subjects would be there wherein these internal choices would be given. I would like Madam Sundari, if you can reflect some idea on this to our viewers. Yes, Madam Sundari.
Yes. Of course, to say that about the pattern of questions, we have the 20 marks which are there, but in that, of course, there's very short answer questions. We have passage-based questions, which are also case studies. We'll be having 2 sets of those, so that carries about 4 marks. So altogether, 8 marks in those type of questions. And then we have, as I said, 2 very short answer questions. We have assertion and reason, which are around 2. And of course, we have those multiple choice questions, so which are present over there right from 5th question onwards till the 12th question. So this is almost, there are lots of multiple choice questions. There may be a choice, internal choice, 33% altogether in the entire set of question paper. So you will be getting 1 or 2 multiple choice questions. Will be having one option over there. That means there's a choice over there, internal choice. You can take it up. But passage-based questions definitely are complete sets of questions which are to be answered. And those are case studies and passage-based or analytical type of questions which you need to understand and write it. And of course, in the 5 marks, definitely you have options for each question. You will be given a choice. So, 1 out of the 2 you must select and write it out. So question number 25th onwards to the 30 will be having an internal choice in each question. So that gives, wide choice for dear children. But then definitely the presentation of answers, understanding a question. It's more important that you understand the question which is being asked. Reading the NCERT textbook is mandatory. It's almost very important to read through the lines and understand the concept, because the NCERT textbooks have been made with a good amount of concepts which are there. So studying the NCERT textbook is mandatory. Understanding the concept which is given over there, practicing questions which are commonly, especially in the field chemistry, I can say there may be questions which are seen in day-to-day life. You may have seen an experiment, or you might have seen some observation, maybe something like preparing a cake. But you can understand what happens if you do not add baking powder. So they may say a particular compound X is not added while preparing the cake, and the dough did not rise up. So what is the reason why it was hard? So these type of questions which you might have observed in your day-to-day life, which has a concept involved over there, has to be attempted properly. So that is the purpose of the assessment. It is observational skills, understanding skills, which is more sought from the students. So definitely knowledge and understanding is one part. The next part is also, which is application, which is very much sought through these questions. So I hope I have made it clear to you. And this is the new pattern which is being followed for the past 2 years. So that's it.
Very correct. Very correct. Madam, now it is very clear that the internal choice is approximately 33% spreading from all 3 subjects, rather from physics, chemistry, biology as a whole. Now, what would be,
So there is, I think, from question number 15 to 24, of course, there are 3 marks questions. So there also you will be having some internal choices. So it is 1 mark, and then 3 marks and 5 marks broadly there in the paper. That's it.
All right, right. So, I mean, when we go and talk about typology of questions, we say that from 1 mark question to 5 mark questions, all questions will be having the internal choices, right? When we talk about physics, what do you think, Madam Vibha, and what all questions would be there, the typology of questions wherein you are expecting the internal choices for the children in the examination?
Like if I talk about the physics portion, we have internal choice within the MCQ question also. Okay. Then we have in the 3 marker question and 1 choice in the 5 marker question. But before attempting any of the 3 marker or the 5 marker question, the child needs to go about the parts, because it's not only when we talk about a long up question like 5 marker question, which has various parts in it. So the child needs to go through each and every part and analyze whether he knows all the parts. Then only he should attempt that particular one set of questions. Because generally, what the students generally make a what is the problem lies behind is that they make an error. That for the first part, they either attempt the C part, and for the next question, they attempt the A part. So they think that there is an internal choice between the C part of the first and the A part of the second. So that should not be done, and that can be only understood by a continuous practice of the sample paper questions. Like if I talk about the physics portion only, the children need to go through the NCRT book, their activities very, very carefully. Children, you need to make a list of all the formulas that are there for the numericals from the chapter light as well as from the electricity. You put it in your study room and make sure that you go through them every day, so that by the end of the year, when the board exams are near, you're aware of all those formulas. Because if I talk about the MCQ or the assertion reason questions, the children generally lose their marks in the assertion reason questions, because those questions can only be solved when you have the complete concept clarity. It's not कि memorize किया हुआ था और हम you can pick on any of the parts. उसके लिए आपको concept clarity बहुत जरूरी है, और वो तभी आएगी जब आप NCRT book या कोई और reference book को regularly उस चीज को ज्यादा ध्यान से पढ़े. You read the NCRT book within the lines, so that you get the concept clarity. Because initially we used to, sorry to bother. Yes, initially we used to have a 2-marker question related to the practicals. So that's what I used to tell the children. Out of 2 marks, if at all something is wrong, at least you would be getting a 1 mark. But now, since the assessment area has been changed to MCQ or assessment, which means if you are wrong, you're wrong. You won't be fetching any of the mark. So to get a mark out of the examiner hand, you need to get a concept clarity of the topic.
Very rightly said that when the situation is like that, then objectivity has increased. You need to be more and more careful, dear children. And an emphasis on preparing yourself better is there, that you need to practice the sample papers, taking help from the books available in the market and the NCRT as a whole. Reference books also are likely to help you in true sense. Well, Madam Sanyogita would like to add on something to that, probably. Yes.
As Vibha ma'am was telling that regarding practice, so children, make it a point while you are solving a numerical especially, make it a point that the marks when they are allotted, it's not a lump sum marks are allotted. Each and every step of a numerical has got a marks. Most of the time it happens while evaluation. We have seen this that I think both the teachers would agree with this, that mostly the students, those who are getting marks above 70, they are lacking the marks there in the numerical portion because they skip the steps. And normally the students, the average students, how do they fetch the marks? They just, if they don't know the numerical, what do? They just write down the given. After writing down given, they write down the formula. And if the calculation part is wrong, even if the marks are there for substituting the values. So suppose if a numerical is of 3 marks, half mark given, half mark formula, half mark is for substituting the values. So that child is going to get 1.5 mark for free. And on the other hand, if a child is directly writing down the answer, skipping the steps, nothing, what he is getting 1 mark. So children, make it a point, go by steps. As ma'am has already mentioned, read the parts also, that is also very important. And secondly, go step by step. Each and every step has got a marks. Thank you very much, sir.
So nice of you, Madam Sanyogita. I think viewers, आपको बिल्कुल क्लियर हो गया होगा कि हम सिर्फ आपको अपने विषय की तैयारी के लिए टिप्स नहीं दे रहे हैं, बल्कि ये भी बता रहे हैं कि मार्क्स कैसे लाना है. You need to be more careful listening to us YouTube live at the behest of Harbourpress International, especially with me on Edutalk. And हम ऐसे कई विचार विमर्श के साथ आपके समक्ष प्रतिदिन, महीने में, सप्ताह में आपके समक्ष आते रहे हैं, और हम सभी कोशिश करते रहे हैं कि आप तक उन तमाम चीज़ों को पहुंचाई जाए जिससे आपको लाभ पहुंचे, खासकर बच्चों को जो कंफ्यूज स्टेट ऑफ माइंड में चल रहे हैं भारतवर्ष में कि आने वाली एग्जाम्स में क्या होने वाला है, नहीं होने वाला है. प्रधानमंत्री महोदय ने बहुत क्लियर एक आह्वान किया है कि सन 2022 ईस्वी में NEP को लागू किया जाए, और इसकी पुरजोर कोशिश की जा रही है. लेकिन जो बच्चे आज हमें देख रहे हैं जो 9th और 10th में हैं, वो तब तक पास आउट हो जाएंगे, क्योंकि 21 बैच में हमारे क्लास 10 के बच्चे पास आउट होंगे, और जो 9th के बच्चे जो आज हमें सुन रहे हैं 22 के बैच में वो पास आउट हो जाएंगे. Somehow or the other, that you are not going to be into that criteria or the category of the children who are going to face NEP, at least at this level of secondary. Well, when you go to senior secondary, there would be a lot more of options coming up for you. and the pool of subjects probably as per NEP recommendations would be thrown in front of you to choose it and to take up your own pursuit in learning, not only in learning, but also in making your own career beautiful. Well, this is all from all of us today on YouTube Live. And I am sure you must have got a lot many insights today in terms of preparations of science for class 10 in the ensuing examination of 2020-21. And all the panelists today becoming more and more enthusiastic to give the things to you proves that we are careful about you. Take care of yourself, your health, maintain the distance, and say goodbye for now. We shall be connecting once again on YouTube Live at the behest of Harbourpress International some other time. Thank you so much, all the panelists here. Madam Sundari, I'm thankful to you to be a part of this panel discussion. Madam Sanyogita, we are extending our heartfelt thanks to you, and Madam
Thank you,
Vibha,
sir.
right?
Thank you, sir.
We all are here to extend our support to make the children, easy for the preparations of their examinations coming in the month of March 2021. Namaste. Thank you so much to all of
So,
us.
Thank
thank
you,
you
sir.
to all
Thank
viewers.
you to all.
Thank you.